This video will cover Taya, which forms part of the Afrikaans language syllabus. I'll initially start with Verlede Tyd and then I will look into Toekomende Tyd. Verlede Tyd can be broken down into a number of different rules. Obviously, our first rule is a simple rule where your verb 1 moves to the end of the sentence. The verb 1 then gets a g at the end of the sentence, and the empty space, so where the verb was, gets a het. Then the second rule to be aware of: the following words do not get a g when they move to the end of the sentence. A word beginning with ont, be, ge, vir, her, mis, vol. So ont, be, ge, vir, her, mis, vol. Those words, if it begins with those letters, the word that moves to the end of the sentence, replaced by the het, that word does not get a g. Then the third rule is if you see kan, sal, moet, or wil. Another one that they seldom ask is mag, M-A-G. Then the following applies, and you do not do, please guys, you do not do anything else with the rest of the sentence. So the kan will change to kon, sal to so, moet to moes, wil to wou, and then the one that I've left out because it doesn't really get tested is mag to mog. Then if you get a sentence and you already see a het and they ask you to put it in Verlede Tyd and you're like, okay, what now? You simply take that het, take it to the end of the sentence as you would with an ordinary Verlede Tyd, and you make it gehad, and then where there was a het, you can replace it with another het. Then double verbs. So what I was previously taught, but a better rule to think of. So what I was previously taught is if you can do the verbs at the same time, then only the first verb gets a g. If you can't do the verbs at the same time, then they both get a g. But a better way, and a way that's always been right for me, is think of the words lê, so you're lying down, you're sitting up, so lê, sit, then you stand up, so you lie down, you sit up, you stand up, so you staan, and then you loop. You walk, you loop, L-O-O-P. So if you have lê, sit, staan, or loop as your first verb, then only that verb will get a g. In every other case, both verbs get a g. Then the next rule is known as the dawn rule. If you have the word dan, as, wanneer, nou in the sentence, change those words to do for Verlede Tyd. Then the following move in front of verb 2 and get a g. So when you're moving these verbs, you put them in front of verb 2, not right at the end of the sentence, in front of verb 2. These verbs include probeer, begin, laat, kom, gaan. And a nice way that I like remembering it is a bit weird, is Peter Black likes kissing girls. So probeer, begin, laat, kom, gaan. Then rule number 8 is if you have an is in the sentence, you simply change the is to was and you leave the rest of the sentence. You don't go and change the word order, etc. If there are two sentences separated by a conjunction, you put both sentences separately in Verlede Tyd, so treat them as separate sentences. And then if your sentence ends on a preposition, then when your verb 1 moves to the end of the sentence, the verb 1 obviously with the g gets joined onto the preposition, so it becomes one continuous word. Then obviously how they like to test these is they will test it with a time word saying gister, and obviously when you start with gister, then your verb 1 and your subject swap. So you don't say gister Pieter het, you say gister het Pieter. And yeah, that concludes the video for Verlede Tyd. Now in the same video I will go over Toekomende Tyd. Toekomende Tyd is somewhat simpler than Verlede Tyd. So obviously similar rules apply. So your verb 1 can move to the end of the sentence. However, it does not change. It does not get a g like Verlede Tyd. And then instead of replacing the empty spot now with a het, you replace it with a sal. Some exceptions: if you have is in your verb 1 position, when is moves to the end of the sentence, it becomes wees. If you have het in your verb 1 position, when you move het to the end of the sentence, it becomes hair. And obviously when I say met 'n kappie, hair, that E must have that little kappie thing on it. Then Peter Black verbs, so probeer, begin, gaan, kom, laat. Peter Black likes kissing girls. Those verbs, sense verbs, what I mean by sense verbs is feel, see, hear and touch, so voel, sien, hoor. And your other 3 helpwerkwoorde, so kan, wil, moet, and also mag. The reason I haven't included sal is because sal forms the entire part of toekomende tyd. When you move these verbs, you're obviously moving them in front of verb 2 in the sentence. Dawn rule does not apply, so when you see dan, as, wanneer, nou, do not change it to 2 as you would in verlede tyd. And then pretty much all the other rules are the same as verlede tyd, except you're putting a sal instead of a het in that empty place. And literally all the rules are the same. If it ends on a preposition, you join the verb to the preposition, etc. That concludes the video on tye.